Are you an aspiring data scientist? Or perhaps this is the first time that you have heard of data science and you're wondering what this field is all about. Or perhaps you are already a data scientist and you want to move up the career ladder. If you answered yes to all of these questions, then this video is for you because today I'm going to be sharing with you a book that I found that will help you to accelerate your career in data science. And so without further ado, we're starting right now. So the book that we're going to be talking about today is called Build a Career in Data Science. And the book is published by Manning. And it was just released early this year. (2020). The book has about 322 pages. And it is organized into 4 major parts. And so the 4 major parts will cover the 4 essential phases of a data science career. So let's have a look. So the first part will be getting started with data science. And so this will be beginners friendly. So for those of you who have never heard of data science or are a beginner in data science, then this first chapter will get you started and will help you break into data science. And so the first chapter will be what is data science? And then the second chapter will be an example of some of the data science companies that you would encounter. So let me go to page 18. Let me show you. So they're going to be using some example companies. So the companies are made up, and the first made up company is called MTC, Massive Tech Company. So it might be one possible scenario that you're applying to a data science position at a massive tech company, like such as Google, Facebook, or Microsoft, or one of the other FANG companies. And so the size of the company could be having about 80,000 employees, and the company age could be about like 20 years. And so they're going to cover some of the peculiarities of these different companies, the pros and cons of working in a massive tech company. And then they're going to be covering a more established retailer. And so the made up company is called Handbag Love. And the company age is like, for example, about 45 years. And examples of the company would be Payless, Bed Bath & Beyond, Best Buy. And the size of the companies could be about 15,000 employees. Another possible company that you might be encountering would be to work at a early stage startup company. So they call this made up company Segmetra. So the number of employees will be about 50. The company age will be 3. Okay, let's have a look further. And another example would be a late stage startup company, which is successful. So it's similar to Airbnb, Lyft, and Twitter. And so the company age would be like 8 years. And the size of the company would be about 2,000 people. Another one would be a giant government contractor. So examples would be Boeing, Raytheon, Lockheed Martin. Company size, about 150,000 people. And the company age, 50 years. So I'm just giving you an example of some of the content of this chapter, and it goes on to provide you some insights from Google researchers on the differences between large and small companies. And another question would be whether there are differences based on the industry of the company. And actually that question has been answered by one of our podcasts with the other YouTubers on data science. So I'm going to be providing you a link to those podcasts in the description of this video. And another would be advice for beginning data scientists. Okay, so this chapter allows you to explore the different type of data science position at different company, different sizes of the company. Right? So this is still part 1 in getting started with data science. And the third chapter would be how can you acquire the necessary skills to be a data scientist? Getting the skills. And so let's have a look at chapter 37. So the chapter covers the different ways to learn data science, understanding what makes a good academic program or bootcamp, and advice on choosing the best route that's suitable for you. So some of the topics that would be covered would be some of the decisions that you might be making is whether you should pursue a data science degree, or how about a data science program where you have to physically attend the courses or online. And some of the topics that you would need to be aware of when you're preparing to get into the academic program. Like for example, tips on taking the GRE or the TOEFL, and whether a PhD is needed to do a data science job or not. And another topic would be going to a boot camp. And so what to expect when you go to a boot camp. Or another would be if you're already working in a company, how can you make the transition to shift to a data science position? So actually this topic was also covered by one of the podcasts with, I think it's Deval, Code Basics. So I'll also provide you the links to that as well. And another route that you could acquire your data science skill would be to self-teach yourself. And so actually that is the way that I've learned data science. And at the time there were not so many resources. And so that pretty much required a lot of self-teaching and a lot of trial and error. All right, let's have a look at the next chapter, chapter 4. Chapter 4 will be building a portfolio. So this is one of the common theme of the YouTube channel Data Professor and also Kenji's YouTube channel as well, where we emphasize the importance of building your data science portfolio. So the great thing about building a portfolio is that it allows the employers to see very quickly your level of depth, your level of understanding of data science and the skills that you have through your own data science project that you share on GitHub, on Medium, and other various platforms. For example, if you're providing advice or value on platforms such as LinkedIn. And so this chapter covers just about that, portfolio. And so it will cover topics about how to create a project, starting a blog, like for example, Medium, and some thoughts about working on example projects. And also there will be an interview with a data scientist on some of the advices that he provides on how to get started in blogging, how to come up with ideas for posts on the various platforms. Okay, so that's part 1, getting started with data science. So that's essentially the first phase in your data science career. So you're probably in college, or maybe you have already graduated and you're preparing for your first data science job interview. So that first part will cover that. And so the second part will be covering about finding your data science job. And so let's have a look at some of the chapters in here. So chapter 5 will be about the search, identifying the right job for you. Chapter 6 will be about the reapplication. What do you need, like resume and cover letters. So Kenji and Tina Huang have some excellent resources for you where they go into project reviews and practical advices on how you could create awesome resumes and cover letters. And make sure to also check out Andrew from Data Leap, where he also has some excellent advice on preparing your data science resume. And actually, I've also got a collaboration video with Andrew, and I'll provide you the link for that video, which provides you some detail about how you could prepare your data science resume. But not just any resume, the ultimate resume. Okay, in chapter 7, we'll cover about the interview itself, what to expect and how to handle it. And chapter 8 will be, if you're offered a position, how can you leverage that in order to optimize the terms of your employment. And then the next part, part 3, will be once you have already landed the job. Okay, so you have already landed the job, what are some of the issues that will help you in getting started in your first job? So chapter 9 will be about the first months on the job. So let's have a look briefly. So chapter 9 will cover about what to expect in your first few weeks as a data scientist, how to become productive by building relationships and asking questions, what to do if you're in a bad work environment. Okay, so that's chapter 9. So it will help you to ease the transition in your first data science job. And in chapter 10, making an effective analysis, let's have a look at what it covers. It covers about planning the analysis, thinking through the code, data and project structure, delivering the analysis to the client. So the content of this chapter reminds me of the Excellent Data Science from Scratch series from Ken G, where he also provides you a step-by-step on all of the essential process in starting your own data science project. And I'll also provide you the link to that video. And if you're into applying data science into bioinformatics, then I've also created a bioinformatics from scratch series as well, where I also go from the basic, like how you could collect your own unique data, which has never been previously available before. And then you could make use of that in doing your machine learning model preparation and also to do exploratory data analysis. So I'll provide you the link to that video as well. Let's have a look further. Chapter 11 will be about deploying your model into production. Let's have a look at the contents. So the content will cover building a machine learning model to use in production, understanding what APIs are and how they're helpful, and also about deploying a machine learning model. So on this YouTube channel, I have several series or several playlists on using Python, particularly the Streamlit library, in order to deploy your machine learning models. Or if you're an R user, I've also created a playlist of videos where I show you how to use the R Shiny package in order to deploy your machine learning model. And so I'll provide you the links to those two playlists to get you started in deploying your machine learning model. Let's have a look further. Chapter 12 will be about working with stakeholders. 192. So the chapter covers about working with different types of stakeholders, like for example, business or the engineering department or leadership, or also your direct manager. And how you can engage with people outside the data science team, how you could listen so that your work gets best used. Okay, so this is some of the nuances, some of the issues that you will be encountering on how you could work with your stakeholders. So that concludes part 3. Let's have a look at the part 4. So part 4 will be the fourth phase of your data science career, right? So you have already in part 1 learned about how you could prepare or how you could break into data science, some of the practical advices on how you could acquire the necessary skills to be a data scientist. And in part 2, you've learned about how you can go about finding a data science job. In part 3, you learned about how you could manage your first data science job, some of the issues in transitioning in your first job as a data scientist. And in part 4, now you're like a mid-career. You already passed the probational period. So you're a data scientist now. And so what are some of the issues that you will be encountering, how you could grow your career and move up the career ladder? So let's have a look. Chapter 13 will be when your data science project fails. Okay, so that's an important topic as well because most of the data science projects don't always work. And I've encountered this a lot in my own research project. And let's have a look at the content here. Chapter 13, when your data science project fails. So it covers why data science projects tend to fail, what you can do when your project fails, how to handle the negative emotions from the failure. And let's have a look at chapter 14, joining the data science community. 228. Yeah, so I think this is also relevant to all of the aspiring data scientists. Let's have a look. 228. So the chapter covers about growing your portfolio of projects and your blog post, finding and getting the most out of conferences, giving a great data science talk at a meetup, or conference contributing to open source. So the contents of this chapter kind of resonated with us data science YouTuber. And so we also provided you similar advices. So in becoming a data scientist, there is always new technologies coming up at all times, new Python libraries, new R packages. And so the thing is, you have to keep up with all of these. And how do you do that? You probably are reading Medium posts, Medium articles, or LinkedIn posts, or also watch some of YouTube videos. And as a data science practitioner myself, so what's the best way to learn? And the best way to learn is to teach. And by teaching, you will learn, you will reinforce your learning. And by becoming a teacher of data science, it in a way makes you accountable that you have to constantly seek out new technologies, have to constantly be aware of the latest development in the field. So it's kind of reminiscent of when I was a PhD student, where I have to be on the lookout for the new state-of-the-art technology that's happening or new research paper that is being published every day. And so that's a great way to grow your data science career. And so let's have a look at the next chapter, chapter 15. Chapter 15, leaving your job gracefully. Okay, so one of the issues that you'll be encountering is you might be moving to a different company. So this chapter will be covering that. Deciding when to leave a job, understanding how the job search differs from your first data science job, and also how to give notice and manage the transition. Chapter 16 is the last chapter of the book, moving up the career ladder, moving up the ladder. 261, let's have a look. So the content will be different paths beyond the data scientist, the opportunities and risk of possible career trajectories. And so this chapter provides you with some practical advices on how you could move up the career ladder, like for example, becoming a data science manager, going to the data management track, and also how to transition to become a consultant. Okay, so if you're finding that this book would be helpful for your breaking into data science, or it provides you some useful advice on becoming a data scientist, then please make sure to check out this book. And I'll be providing you the link to this book in the description of this video. And so if you're finding value in this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't yet done so, hit on the notification bell in order to be notified of the next video. And as always, the best way to learn data science is to do data science. And please enjoy the journey. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you in the next one. But in the meantime, please check out these videos.